Yes, we've missed the game. Welcome back to the arena. Cari Champion with the great Charles Barkley and Draymond Green. It's just us tonight, fellas. So the question is, right off the top, who gets the last word, Chuck or Dre?
The GOAT, Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You get the last word.
I'm glad we got rid of Jamel and Dwayne so we can talk to
He does not mean that if you guys are watching. And speaking of last words, guys, Draymond, yesterday you asked a question to Toronto Raptors president Masai Ujiri. I'm going to play that, Masai Ujiri. We're going to play that, and you explain to us what you were trying to say.
Absolutely.
Impact your team because you guys are in Canada. I think those words may have been misunderstood, and you said you've been receiving some heat for that.
A lot of heat. And for me personally, when doing anything, where I would say I was 100% wrong was under any other country. And so that was.
Okay, so, and then Black Lives Matter, you mean the popularity of it, because it started with Ferguson, but you're saying the popularity of it as of late. Okay.
Absolutely.
Chuck, you say often you stay off the internet because you feel like you are often being misunderstood.
No, I just think those because I don't want to be drunk and say something. We're going to get killed.
Yeah.
I mean,
issue, and I think we've all experienced this as of late, because the society that we live in, we use our platforms to make a point, to help, to give back, and everyone is so sensitive about what we've been talking about as of late, especially on this platform, and they have to realize there should be some nuance, and I feel as if no one gets that grace.
I 100% agree, and you know, I think but if we're going to affect change, you can't do the same thing you're asking someone to stop doing.
Yeah, you're saying you can't get mad at me because I am trying to have some type of conversation about change, and I may have said something wrong. Like, I don't think anyone is up here.
Yeah, but see, Cari, that's the part that drives me crazy. You don't get to tell me what I meant.
What do you mean? Social media.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it. You like to take this heat.
But Chuck, it happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Especially
It happens all the time. No, seriously. If you...
I'm asking is this, Chuck, because these conversations are uncomfortable, and people really, truly have a history of wanting to do something right. Draymond was really just asking a genuine question. And you're right, they can't misinterpret what he said, but even sometimes things are, in this particular instance,
well, let me just say this.
They're misunderstood.
If you want to help me, I have time for that. I really don't. And that's to beat them down.
Yeah, well.
Because I've always been a cut down some of that stuff.
That's not feasible, Chuck.
I'm just like rating.
You know what? And you laughing because you think you mad.
No, that's hilarious. But I also wanted to say this. I think Chuck asked, Chuck, you are one of us. You played basketball. He's doing Chuck, the analyst, and that's the same thing that I think is currently.
That's a great point. So now when Chuck may or may not kill you when you have a bad game, you understand it.
I probably get killed worse than I did before this just by coming to the show with him.
When we were talking the other day, this dude didn't even mention me. So now, every time he has a good game, he got my word. I'm gonna mention it.
Okay, I love it. First of all, you notice we've been saying all throughout this whole week, if people are at home watching, what I've been hearing, Chuck, you don't read the internet, is that it's good to see you both because you're very much alike than you guys are different. And I know you've noticed that.
Well, you know, one of my mentors is Mike Wilbon, the Godfather. Yeah. I mean, I'm just having fun. But it's been awesome to be here. And I want to really thank TNT for giving us a week.
All right, so we're gonna go to break, guys. On the other side of the break, I'm excited. 2 weeks inside of the bubble, and as you can see, players have made a deliberate choice to keep the social justice conversation going. Your reaction to that, Draymond?
Oh, well, I think, you know, that is a direct impact of guys, but to also continue to bring awareness to the challenges that we face as Black Americans.
I think it's gonna be interesting. How the fans react to it.
You keep using the words interesting and fascinating. What do you mean by that?
They're gonna hear this stuff every single day for 3 months. You got this, they do. And for people to say, well, the fans.
What I would ask you is, I think a lot of people turned around and within the last few months.
2016.
Would they be making the same mistake?
I think it's different now because of the pandemic. Like I say, the pandemic, if this all these guys are going to talk about. I think that's a fair
conversation is too heavy and they want an escape. Is it more of that stick to sports mentality?
No, it's not do.
I mean, I personally think
we'll see. The season starts. July 30th. Meanwhile, we now welcome in Nneka Ngumake. Part of a farewell tour for NBA superstars is a valued rite of passage. Other players can say, guess what? We love you. That's a proper goodbye. They gave them highlights that will last a lifetime. But this season, due to COVID, Vince Carter did not get a proper goodbye. So we decided to take him back to State Farm Arena to reflect on his career and say thank you for all he's done for this game. Vince, we love you. The game loves you. Chuck, what did you think of that?
I think that, number one, he's one of the nicest men I've ever met in my life. You got to say that first. You really don't. That was a lot of people to say something. That tells me that's...
I think for me, Vince's legacy is what he did for the country.
Actually, a really good point.
Man, you really trying to beat this Canada thing up tonight.
My bad.
Doc was asked that specifically because Lou Will left, Pat Beverly has left, Montrezl Harrell has left, Landry Shamet has COVID-19. So I think he's getting a lion's share of the players who are not in the bubble and they're leaving. He says it's no big deal. Your take on it, Chuck?
Well, if he don't have those guys, he won't be in the bubble long either. Come back. I'm just glad Zion's back because I don't have to lie on. And it's going to be fascinating. This is going to be to see what happens.
Good point. And they all are expected to come back. I do want to say that, the players I mentioned.
I think the world possibly be in the playoffs, and that one game changes everything, or any other thing like that.
I'm not feeling sorry for you because you don't get to pay vacation.
Hey, listen, he's technically on paid vacation right
now. Meanwhile, speaking of what I love, my family would always tell me that the human race could make the world easy or difficult place to live. It's up to you, right? It's your choice. But as of late, we've seen that it's been really hard. I was able to come across two champions that are simply reminders of how we should see one another. And I thought to myself, how beautiful was that, right? But it got more popular as we got into this situation. I don't want to call it a movement. Help me find a word, y'all, because they're right, it's not a movement. As we start talking about social justice, what is it? What are we going to say?
I mean,
help me, come on.
I think it is some sort of a movement.
It is moments that make a movement, but being black isn't a movement, but I digress. But the kids were so beautiful and so loving, and that's how you know racism isn't taught. That's how you know that, is taught, and that's how you know that people, no matter what they are, we're more alike than we're different. And I wish we could just see what they were able to see every time we see something.
Well, kids, when you see,
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
I will say this. It has been nothing but a pleasure.
Cari.
I'm going to start. It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
It's been an honor. Draymond, I think you've changed a lot of people's minds. You more to give than just on the court, as well as you. And thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you all.
Absolutely. I think you were great, Cari. Chuck, you set me up and made me look good up here. You passed more than I knew, man.
Yeah, passed the ball a lot.
Hey, listen, it's been an honor. Draymond, Cari, Dwayne Wade, and Jamel Hill. And thank you, TNT.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.